Yeah. Here we go, and we're back. How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, Emos doing this. We're back live. F.I.L.L show, episode 20. What? Woo. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Hot new political show, political perspective from your host. Only way to get it. One way, only through Emos. Emos to witness. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Check me out. Here's a few couple shows. I think last time I was here was on Monday, so we got a lot to talk about. A lot's been going on. A lot of heated rhetoric going on in politics. A lot of new changes. So let's get into it. My man Malik's in the house. What's Emos the witness? The F.I.L.L show, episode 27. Let's jump into the news. Let's cut down this background. Some background music. We got to talk about the impeachment of Trump. See what he's up to. Yeah, that's that sound I like. So yeah, I've been off for a few. Trying to recalibrate, trying to get this show right. Like I said, I am your host, Emos the Witness, and this is the F.I.L.L show. And like I said, I came out here about Discord, what's been going on in America since the 2020 election. I've been pretty much fed up. I've been pretty much like a lot of citizens in this society where, we've been led astray. We've been misrepresented by our political leaders, and we've been led to think one thing and seen another. We've been going through a lot, of course, with this COVID. We've been seeing it being politicized, and we still continue to see that to this day. And we're looking for the end. We're looking for economic boost. We're looking for a lot of things. Looking for security. And we're tired of double talk. We're tired of the appearance of a two-tier justice system. We're tired of the assault on our democracy, our constitution, our values. And we want to know where this country's headed. And we want to know if our voice is still valid, right? We had a lot of voter issues going on in 2020 during the election in November. It really took a lot of citizens by surprise. It really put us at a place where we had to pause and think, like, is our voice being heard? Can we protest properly? Can we protest and see our questions answered? Or will we be ridiculed and pushed aside and ignored? 74 million Americans, and maybe more, right? Where's all this headed? Where's this new Biden administration taking us? So much to think about, so much to not really worry about, but so much to fight for. We must stay vigilant in this time. And I'm your host, Emos to Witness. This is the F.I.L.L show, episode 27. I want you to hit that like, subscribe button. Like me on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. You can catch my website coming soon, emostowitness.com. I am your guide. I am your witness. Okay, bring you a hot new political perspective, insight. We're going to hold leaders accountable from all industries. Okay, not just in the political realm, not just through the halls of Congress. We're going to attack all the people who want to lend a voice from the business industries, from big tech, from Hollywood. Because everybody can lend a voice. Everybody has power. Everybody has means to impact this world, and those who have more means than others, we have to watch what they do and watch what they say, because they can also impact our lives in ways we don't even know how. It's a lot of political chess in the world. There's a lot of and politics is a dirty game, and you got to find out who your leaders are. You got to find out what sides they're on, and who's in your corner or who's not. And with this show, I hope to expose those leaders so you can make the right decision when it comes to voting. When you can make the right decision when it comes to certain issues, and you can be properly informed, right? So we want to get into the news, and like I said, when I first started this show, I had a plan to just tackle all the big issues, and all these issues seem to be kind of rolling all together and be multiplying. So I used to talk about COVID and the stimulus and the pandemic, and the election and politics, and voter fraud. So now we know we're still doing that. We're still going to be tackling the leadership, big tech. It's necessary. It really is. We're going to attack these leaders from all angles, from local, national, and from state. As you know, we had the Texas power outage down south due to the winter storms. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into what's going on with Trump. And as you know, President Trump will make his first big speech coming up this at CPAC. I think with this we'll get to that too. I think this Monday, I believe, this coming weekend actually. But we'll get into that as well. So let's get into the news. Like I said, big tech is America and the world is pushing back against big tech. So let's look at this article from CNET. Facebook's news blackout. Why folks outside Australia should care. A proposed law in Australia could be the first of many around the world. Now, this article talks about how Australia is looking to push back against Facebook and Google, actually charging them for content from their publishers. But before that law, before it becomes law in Australia, Facebook took the initiative and took the offensive and actually banned Australia from producing content on their site. And the world is up at arms. This is another attempt of big tech to circumvent and, assume power. What is Zuckerberg up to? It's amazing. So I'm gonna read a little bit about this. Last summer, Facebook issued a stark warning to Australian government over the proposed law that will require the social media giant to pay publishers. Pass it, and we will restrict the news down under. Now, quote, assuming this draft code becomes law, we will reluctantly stop allowing publishers and people in Australia from sharing local and international news on Facebook and Instagram. Will Easton, who manages Facebook's Australia and New Zealand operations, said in the August blog post, "This is our first choice." I'm sorry, this quote is pretty important. It kind of shows you their character. "This is not our first choice; it is our last." So that's how powerful big tech is. They're like, this is our decision, it's final. We just shut you all the way down. We just shut the whole country, the whole subcontinent of Australia. Oh yeah, just from the world. And what Australia is trying to do is trying to bring some balance to the tech industry. Trying to secure your freedoms. So shout out to Australia for supporting the people of the world from big tech tyranny. And that's what this is. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they all the same. And what I like about it is, they're also doing it in France too. We're the big dogs. We're going to restrict you from even seeing our content. So we'll see who wins that battle. Let's read a little bit more about this. So on Wednesday, Facebook pulled the trigger. Even before the news media bargaining code, which is what it's called, which also affects Google, becomes law. The decision was big and controversial given the increased number of people who rely on the social network for information on topics ranging from the coronavirus to politics. See, news is important. And whoever is the carrier of that news, or whoever is the basket of that information, needs to be responsible. Not to act like some big bully. And that's what these cats have been doing. So what's been up with Parler, right? We know they banned Parler, right? They all got together and said, man, this is a pretty good conservative site. It's a competitor. We don't need that. We need to find a reason to get them out of here. We need to find the coronavirus. You know what? The not just the coronavirus. How about the riot? How about the way they post content? Are they securing what we perceive to be our values, what we perceive to be what's right? If Parler's not doing that and not doing it properly, we're going to shut them down. What gives them the right? So let's see what Parler's up to. According to Fox Business, Parler interim CEO says Trump welcome on platform and Biden. So it looks like Parler's back, you guys. And you see how quiet it was? You'd think that, it'll be a big, I haven't heard anything about it. I had to look this up. I mean, you made a big stink about them, shutting them down. You don't want, they're a competitor. So the rollout, now they're back. They're like, oh, this is like page 12. This is a big news. Now this is like back page now. So what's up with Parler? They're back. I thought that'd be pretty interesting news. So social media platform Parler, after being offline for more than a month, has relaunched using a new web hosting service and is welcoming President Biden and former President Trump to the site. So good, they got some new partners. They're back in the business. They got a new web hosting service. And there's a quote from the CEO saying they would like to have Biden and Trump, just a bunch of flop news. But that's not what we want to hear. We want to hear, like, how'd you get back? How'd you fight back, And it's very general, It kind of makes you, they try to not put too much black stain on the big tech companies like Google's, whoever, Amazon. You know, those who initiate all this nonsense, all this censorship from a competitor. So I bet both sides got what they wanted pretty much. But Parler, which has more than 20 million users and was first launched in August of 2018, is up and running after backlash from some tech companies and liberals for not monitoring its content, for being judged pretty much. So while the relaunch experienced some glitches, Merkler said major update Thursday night has solved most of the tech issues. So good. They're just talking about how to get back, but they're not really talking about, you know, there should be some kind of retribution, some kind of accountability for this happening. And how do you avoid this happening in the future? Big bank take little bank. If there's a big industry wig that was take down, and it happened. I've been saluting on the Emos Witness show downtown here at 120 East Market Street. That's not what I'm trying to say here at the F.I.L.L. show. Fuck, I look like episode 27. What I'm trying to preach to you down here with my man Malik and Wyatt is that, you know, we got to push back against big tech. We got to push back against all these issues that are affecting us today. Okay? But we don't need to destroy a whole system. We need to repair it. We need to fix it. You know? Capitalism has been abused, but it has its merits. But you're seeing an example here of what can be perceived as checks and balances, right? You got big tech, too big to fail, controlling the narrative, controlling the public discourse through their social media app. And then you have countries pushing back to check the checks, to balance it all out. We have to use those tools. We have to use those tools in our Constitution. We have to push back and be vigilant on all these issues. Not saying that they don't have merits. I'm not saying that either side has a monopoly on ideals. But there are some great ideals out there, and it's on us to push those ideals through as a new generation, as the future, and make sure that this old leadership that's currently in power holds up. That's my worry, that we have all this innovation, all this know-how and genius with smart people in the world. Shit. But we got this old corrupt leadership in power. Who's going to expose that? And who's going to bring it to the forefront? I argue it's Donald Trump and the legacy that he's upholding in America First. Drain the swamp, cleaning things out. So you like my page, man. You like me on subscribe me on Facebook and Twitter. Hit that subscribe button. Emos The Witness. The F.I.L.L. Show, episode 27. Catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, downtown at 120 East Market Street. Come down here with Malik, my man, Wave One Media. Come down, Malik and Wyatt, get you a show. But I was getting to, like I said, that's going on to big tech. Big tech is getting some pushback from the world, and we'll see what happens when it comes to who can win that publishing of content battle. It's very important. Who's gonna blink first? Like I said, we got France and other people, but like I said, a lot of countries are gonna be affected by this based on what's gonna end up happening with this law when it becomes law. Who's gonna win that battle? But like I said, just scrolling through some various articles and reading things throughout the day. I'm just, the Texas power outage, what's been going on in these liberal cities, and some of the economic issues and some of the poverty going on, and how it views and how it looks and how it's affected by the coronavirus, and how it all tied together. And like I said, our thought leaders and how we get our information, how we educate ourselves, and how we have these debates is something to be cherished and looked at, because you look at these colleges. I read this article in the New York Times, man. This Columbia professor, quote, "I do heroin regularly for work-life balance." This is a Columbian professor. This is one of your child's college teachers. Columbia, where I'm sure you pay a lot of money to send your kids off to college, and this is kind of liberal rhetoric that you hear. Now, I didn't really this didn't really hit my radar in college. I went to Ball State University, and I had a lot of professors that had their opinions about things, and whatnot. My screen came off, but I never really fell into an issue where my professor was trying to put their politics on me or put a certain level of influence on me. I felt like for the most part, my professors were pretty much objective, and we just kind of followed the curriculum and followed the what we were being taught, whatever it was. But this guy apparently, I don't understand. I don't know how I feel about my teacher doing heroin. Malik, what do you think about that, man? How would you feel if you was in class and your dude was like, "Hey, good morning and welcome to the first semester. I am Professor Carl." Like, that's fucked to get your first name, Professor Carl. And I mean, this is like, dude. I mean, this is second year. You serious? You in Columbia, and he says, "Hey, man, I do heroin."
I would be like, you got to prove it. And then once he proved it, I'd be like, oh man, that's crazy. And then I might try to like finagle my way into getting better grades, like wave it in his face a little bit, like, oh
yeah, a little blackmail, something, a little something. Like I would have to get, I would have to, because the thing is, I would have to try to catch him in the act. I would have to try to catch him at a college party late night. Like kind of, or catch him like, hey, yeah, man, you gotta kind of bring it to the table, man. You gotta, prove it to us. Snort a line off your wrist. You know what I'm saying? Like snort a line, or come in with the withdrawal symptoms like 2 weeks later. Like show us some shit like that. Like we want you to stop taking it for your health, professor, because we love you, professor. And we want to see that 2 weeks later withdrawal effect. We want to see if it's true. But man, if my teacher's, man, you just gave me a ticket to do what the fuck I want. If you tell me in class straight up that you do heroin and you're a college professor, I'm doing what I want. You know what I mean? I'm walking in class late. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like I'm not taking this test. I'm gonna walk up to you. I'm gonna put an A on the paper and give it to you. Monkey. And I'm gonna dare you to change it. But I mean, you think I don't see how that's even like remotely acceptable. We have to change our standards, y'all, America. I think we got to a point we think everything is just dry ass parent. But my dude is like, I do hair. Look, I gotta stop you right there, my dude. Like my child cannot come home from this summer and tell me that shit. And I'm dropping 15 G's a semester. I can't let that slide. It might be a nice giggle with my homies around the grill, like, oh, this motherfucker does heroin. I believe this shit. My damn daughter's teacher, Because you think about it, what was your babysit? What was your teacher? What was your daughter was 3. It was your daycare. Yeah, what's up, Mr. Jenkins? I just did some heroin. Oh, come here, baby. Good morning. Would you let the motherfucking baby in there? Would you let your daughter go in there? No, you wouldn't. And you paying $150 a week. Okay. So we got to put things in perspective, man. Like we spend money. We pay taxes. We live on this earth and this planet and this land just like everybody else, man. So we got to be able to control some shit. So yeah, I saw that article. I mean, the headline speaks for itself. I want to go into it, but yeah, let me find a quote, because I did read this shit and the dude just sounded ridiculous. Let's see what he said. He said some shit. I mean, not only that, he did everything. He don't just do heroin, he does weed and everything. Just off the fucking chain, man. Like, the next article should be, this motherfucker got fired. So-and-so resigns from Columbia's board. You know what I'm saying? That should be the next article. The next article could probably be some stupid shit instead. Columbia professor who does heroin is snowboarding in the spring break with students. That's what's gonna be the next article. With this fucking, come on, man. What we doing here? It's Idiocracy. Y'all see that movie? Idiocracy. Check it out. That's where we headed, y'all. We don't correct this shit. Silly ass world we're gonna be living in. We're gonna be drinking Mountain Dew as water. Watering our plants with Bondo juice. Let's get together, America. I'm getting it together. I mean, Malik, update, man. I'm doing pretty good with my daughter, man. We got like another 3 weeks left. I'm on that solo parenting shit right now.
Oh, you still got 3 weeks left?
God, man. Dude.
Are you still been late to school every single day?
Man, dude, man. Okay, I have not mastered that yet. Today we got there at 8:38, and she knows. Like, am I late, Daddy? Yeah. I'm sorry. Is she the last one walking in though? You know what's sad when the when the traffic dude, the traffic dude, the dude in the middle be designing traffic, you know what I'm saying, go here. He lets her in. He walks her up into the classroom now. It should be teachers. Hey, good morning, Roma, on time. But no, I'm so late, the custodian comes out. Ain't that some shit? Yellow vest and everything. Just come the fuck out and put the book back on my daughter, mask on my daughter. I have to thank you, sir. He's like, yeah, whatever, motherfucker. Get your life together.
Wait, what time does class start?
Well, technically class starts at 8, but you can, no. But you can get there at 8:30. Like 8:30 is like like 8:30 is like, okay, where the fuck you at? Type, that's the time where everybody's looking around like, okay, where is she at? So she's always the last one. I'm always the last card, man. I gotta stop that. But the hair is getting good. The hair got better. See, look, it takes a village, right? So I got my aunt Heather doing her hair like on like Thursdays. I can just drop her off, and she just like wash it, man. Perfect, man. She did some shit. I don't know. It's skills. I can never do no shit. She did some shit, man. She put like fucking like 10 fucking acid reflux. 10 ponytails in her hair, and she put some shit. She put the braids in, or like what is she called, the fucking twisty shits, where I can just like tighten that shit. Like I can just tighten them like I'm tightening like shoelaces. Each one, it's amazing. Shit looks like it's new. Like I can do, and then I got better with the gel. I get a little peaceful with this shit. It's like cooking. When you slide that, when I do her hair, she doesn't cry anymore. So I know that I'm getting better feedback by the facial expressions. And then when she tells her mom on the phone and shit, snitching, boy, snitching. They don't make the bed. Oh, I ain't got fucking time to make the bed. Shit. Didn't, you know what I'm saying? Didn't wipe her face, got a crush on her eye. Okay, so, man, look, I think it should be one day a week throughout the school year where kids got to go to school funky. We should get a day off, a morning off. Like, I'm talking about pick their ass up and put them directly in the car. Directly. And let the teachers judge. Let the teachers sort that shit out. Damn, you get no breakfast? Nothing. Somebody pick up PJs, backseat, drop off. It'd be like an activity, like just Wednesdays. Just, every Wednesday, wacky Wednesday. Every kid just come in as you were the night before. Should be like the month of October, just some weird shit. I don't know. Spruce it up a little bit. So I'm going too far. I'm long-winded. But yeah, anyway, America, I'm doing better with raising my daughter through this one-parent boot camp. And I'm proud of myself, man. I really am. She's still alive, man. She's still here. She's still happy. She helps me out. She helps me out a little bit sometimes, but we're getting through it. And I'll keep you guys posted on that. Speaking of child labor, I don't know if that's a bad segue or not, but child slavery lawsuit filed against Mars, Hershey, and Nestle by former child workers at the West Coast. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring this up a little bit. Like I said, we want to attack everything that's going on that's corrupt and bad. I don't care. As your witness, Emos, I want to expose truth to power. We want to push back against a two-tier justice system. We want to push back against attacks on our democracy and our constitution and our values. Right to protest, freedom of speech, right to bear arms. With big tech trying to do censorship. So in this situation, we talk about corporate America, corporate corruption, and people. There's still slavery out there, y'all. It's going down in Libya. Shit, Libya's a full-fledged market of slavery. Okay. Shit, you may walk down there and see. Shit, ain't no telling what you might damn see, man. You might see a whole bale of motherfucking tobacco. Some old school shit, the cotton gin, going to Libya. But anyway. So yeah, this is a little article, trying to expose some of these big companies out here, Mondelez and whatnot. And it's about 8. My mouse is jacked up. It's about 8 children are accusing the companies like Mondelez, Mars, Hershey, Cargill, Olam, Berry, Calabat, and it's probably French, as well as Nestle, of child slavery. They basically say they've been working without pay, been forced to work in cocoa plantations. The lawsuit was filed in D.C. by International Rights Group on behalf of the 8 child slaves. So there's more to that. They're now young adults. They're about to get PIS-aid.
Where is this at?
Well, I guess
it just says West Coast. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess it's the West Coast of Africa.
Oh, okay.
But I want to say, it was West Africa. I guess, it must be like about 10 countries. All the motherfuckers doing shit. They're like, you getting paid off these motherfuckers. I mean, I don't know, man. this is my thing. Okay, look, slavery, man, is a very touchy subject, and I don't know what I must have been ignorant, but I guess I guess it became really prevalent to me about the last 15, 20 years that slavery still exists. Like, I mean, I know there was like some cheap child labor shit going on, but some motherfuckers are really buying motherfuckers and they really working for nothing. I thought that shit was done. The shit is going down still anywhere, of course, in Africa, but I think that's what's going down like in India, South Asia. I think motherfuckers in India are getting it bad too. I think motherfuckers are going over to Macau or some shit, or going to like Qatar, like on boats and shit, and just getting paid like 5 cents. That's pretty much slavery too. $5, 5 cents. Damn, that's crazy. How are we gonna fight against that? Who's fighting against that? We need some superheroes, man. Shit. I'm just fuck. I'm gonna sit down and wait to see if there's really a Captain America, or some Power Rangers really coming down. We make so many fucking movies and remakes of these motherfuckers. We thinking when everybody wouldn't, See, I'm about to go on a tangent real quick. See, if you bring all the superheroes down, then you gotta bring all the Mortal Kombat niggas down. You see what I'm saying? And you don't want them niggas to come down because they too dangerous. Them motherfuckers. You see Sub-Zero? You don't want them. Are they good or they bad? Some are good, some are bad, right? Katana. I know y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about, but this is what I'm trying to tell y'all, America. There is a lot of shit going on in this world that we need some fucking superheroes. It seems like there is still child slavery going on. And look at this picture. This little motherfucker is cutting down, I guess, a cocoa plant with a motherfucking LeBron James t-shirt on. He don't know that there's not slavery going on in America anymore. In other countries, we ain't doing that shit no more. You ain't got the news. Do you watch the basketball game and then cut the commercials off? Little nigga, what kind of TV you looking at? He must got them box TVs out on the floor. You know the old heavy TV? Because we pass shit down to Africa. We are all hand-me-downs. So like all our 1990s shit, they got now. Like we got the PS5, they got the Nintendo. You see what I'm saying? Why can't we put like a little message on one of the video games? Like you can't play Mario Brothers, Mario Kart, or the one with the little dinosaurs and realize ain't no slavery no more. Like you hold that little controller in your hand, motherfucker, and realize it's a new day. So all I'm trying to tell y'all, America, is this: we gotta spread the news, get your voice out there, like I did. Emos the Witness, episode 27. Wave One Media, come down here and get you a show. You catch me live, baby. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Sometimes I do one a little bit late, but as a show, we're growing, okay? As witnesses, we're growing. And I'm your guide, I'm your ref. We go together. We're gonna expose politics, every industry, every issue that's wrong. We're gonna bring it to light so that we can be better informed for our future decision making, our future voting. And like I said, man, I go on tangents. I want to get into a little bit more before I stop. I'm just getting started, you guys. That's what happens when you kind of take a couple shows off. But yeah, these big companies are getting attacked, y'all. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I want to see. I want to see a lawsuit like this. I want to see, capitalism being refined. These big companies come out here and they abuse their power. But they got to, make a lot of profit. But you gotta have some balance. You can make a profit, but you ain't gotta destroy the economy. You ain't gotta destroy the world. You ain't gotta oppress people. And the more we can bring that to light, the better we'll be as a country, or as a world. So let's go on to these leaders in America in particular. I'm talking about governors, state officials, and presidents. As you guys know, we had a very rough winter storm come through the country. Ransacked Texas, Houston. A lot of people died. Power was out. People in the cold. And I wanted to kind of hone on what some of our leaders were saying during this time, and what they're currently still saying. And like I said, look, straight up, I'm a Trump supporter. I'm objective. It's not something that I just put out of my ass. I've been in politics and involved in politics for a long time, following it, reading it, studying it. What the fuck? I went to college, and I changed my views, and now I'm a Trump supporter. Now I'll explain that one day. I've had before in other shows, but I want to keep going, keep focused. But Rick Perry came out and said a few things. But before that, I want to get into the update on This article I read from the Texas Tribune, many Texans have died because of the winter storm. Just how many won't be known for weeks or months. It seems to me that's devastating. It seems to me every year we have a major storm or a major issue like the COVID, where issues of this country, blemishes of this country, weaknesses of this country are exposed. And it seemed like the forest fires in California, and we never correct the shit. The same things every year. Okay? Now, I know people want to compare the Texas power outage versus, what's going on in California, what goes on in California every year with the fires. Now, both are ridiculous. You should prepare for any kind of situation. Just because you live in a warm state doesn't mean you can't prepare for a cold snap. But in California with the forest fires, every year the fire authority they don't clean up the brushes, the loose brushes, and it causes or you may have a campfire caused by somebody who may toss a cigarette or some dumb shit. And it causes these massive fires and these massive, and they want to blame it on climate change when it's not actually human error, human accidents, and then also lack of leadership, lack of maintenance and maintaining of our forests in California. That's what it comes down to. And if you follow the history of what's been going on in California, you see that President Trump in particular withheld funding for that reason directly. Governor Newsom and local officials down there weren't doing the upkeep properly, playing politics with the energy company. And we can get into that if we want to, but let's get into Texas and it's very disturbing that one, a winter storm can blanket any state in this country anytime it wants to. How do we know? When do we know? And we know why are we so nonchalant and so over practical about? Oh well, it's California, it's Texas. They'll never see snow. Not snow on a scale like we can think of, or we can imagine the Midwest. Why not? Why can't officials? And I'm very interested to see Biden's infrastructure policy, but why can't officials really just be, understanding and knowledgeable of risk and how to manage it? It should be risk managers. You have some kind of risk management skill when you're involved with politics. You're trying to manage a city. You're trying to secure structures for your people. Lower the risk. So as snow blanketed much of Texas on Sunday, an 11-year-old boy in Houston area gleefully with the story. I don't know where the story. I'm just trying to get an update. So, but on February 16th, at least 4.5 million customers in Texas were without power. The operator of Texas Power Grid is under investigation after a massive winter storm caused millions of residents in the state to lose power for days. Now, I mean, under investigation, but it's like it's common. It's that's the common process. It's a big tragic event happens. There's an investigation. You might hear the results, but no one is a slap on the wrist. I bet you if you start putting criminality behind some of these politicians' actions, you will see a change in behavior. You will see a change in the corruption. You will see we have yet to hold people accountable. If you see the last 4 years, we still have not fully done that. And that's a danger that we see heading into the future. We want to push these policies through, but no one who is in power has any kind of stick behind them in case they step out of line when it comes to what the people want. Now we've seen censors, and we're gonna get into that too. We've seen politicians censored recently. Adam Kinzinger, is the most recent one. Liz Cheney was a couple weeks ago, where the American people pushed back for politicians not doing what the will of the people demanded. And we got to start doing it at all levels. We got to hold people accountable when they mismanage money, and when they mismanage resources. And we see issues like this, events happen like this in Texas. People have died over politics. And this is a shame for Rick Perry. This next article from Rick Perry, during this storm, he comes out and says that, these blackouts will endure in order to keep the government out of their business. Another politician came out and said, and I don't think I have that article up, but I think you do it, Malik. What's the very next one say? Yeah, Texas mayor who told residents to sink or swim during the winter crisis has resigned. Now, you got to, man. Damn. What makes you say? Well, how cold-hearted can you be to even have that kind of thought? Can you imagine people suffering without any kind of power, freezing, children? Our leaders got to be more compassionate, more considerate. oftentimes they're just too hung up on power and the consumption of it. So you got Rick Perry playing politics, regardless of what he thinks about what liberals or Democrats want to do. This is not the time for you to tell any Texans. I mean, I know Texans are very strong people, but at the same time, a lot of people just want to keep food on the table and keep their kids warm at this point in time. Not to hear rhetoric about government and their business. What business are you referring to? Let me find a couple quotes. Let's see what he was saying. I mean, Texas would be without power, without electricity for longer than 3 days to keep the federal government out their business, Perry was quoted as saying in a blog post Wednesday on the website of Republican Congressman Kevin McCarthy. Now, it says here that watching on the left, many see the situation in Texas as an opportunity to expand their top-down radical proposals. Two phrases come to mind: don't mess with Texas and don't let a crisis go to waste. Now, I mean, that's true. I mean, a lot of political Democrats and Republicans, when it comes to crises, they do take the opportunity to kind of inform the people what they think should happen. They want to talk about climate change in this example. And Perry is not having it, and I just think that it's a bad time. It's a bad moment to bring that up. Maybe after the fact when you're doing a review, but you focus on helping the people out in a time of need. And this has been a rough week for Texas. We're gonna have all our prayers and thoughts and prayers for them here at the Emos Witness Show. And we hope everybody gets. I know we have power back on and things being restored, but millions of people without power last week, and it was very tough for them. And I hope everybody is doing well down in the Southwest. So, yeah, like I said, hit that like and subscribe button. Emos to Witness the F.I.L.L. Show, episode 27. The fuck I look like. Like my page, on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram. Website coming soon. Always feel free to join the chat, live chat. And we'll get into let's keep it moving, let's keep it pushing. Like I said, I want to talk about bad leaders, man. Like I said, we got to keep on exposing them, and I ain't got a lot of time left, so I want to keep it going. Remember Governor Cuomo? A New York Assemblyman came out and said, this dude said, like, Cuomo said he can destroy me. New York Assemblyman alleges governor threatened him over nursing home scandal. Now, you remember nursing home? Like I said, we can't let this shit go by. Like I said, too much shit's going by. Like I said, with Trump being, impeached twice or acquitted twice as well. He was acquitted twice. Frivolous lawsuits, investigations over 4 years. We gotta hold people who yearn for those moments or who led those charges be held accountable. That still has to be done. Can't forget about the FISA warrants. Can't forget about the Russian investigation, the hoax. Can't forget about Ukraine and China. So much to talk about, man. This shit by itself. I think you can't stop talking about. You can't forget about Libya. I think that was that failed state, that failed crisis with the issue what happened there was with the ambassador dying. All that stuff still needs to be fleshed out better than what it was. Accountability has not been fully vetted, and it's going to take a constant pushback by the American people to kind of stamp down, because these people are still in power. They still control levers and control situations. To have security clearances, they can still control your ways and how you operate, and your freedoms. So we got to keep watching what they're doing, and keep an eye on them, and their little puppets under them. It's a tough world out here, man. It's very tough, and another person needs to be held accountable is Cuomo, because like I said, Cuomo during the COVID, he sent patients back to nursing homes, which caused thousands of deaths, and people are still, families are still waiting for, an answer to that or accountability, and they want criminal accountability in this situation, and and Cuomo was at the head of that. So this article here is showing some of his character, his evilness, and his disdain and smugness, snarkiness towards the issue. And like I said, this article says Cuomo recently threatened the congressman over this issue. Let's read a little bit about this. New York Governor Cuomo has been pleading with lawmakers for support and even threatening political retribution against Democrats who have criticized him of an aggressive effort to contain political fallout from revelations of his administration's had concealed the full extent of nursing home related deaths during the COVID pandemic. So he's trying to get people on his side to support him on that issue. And the people aren't just, his fellow Democrats aren't having it. That's good to see, too. Pretty much, there was an exchange between Assemblyman Ron Kim. He was quoted as telling CNN that Governor Cuomo called me directly on Thursday to threaten my career if I did not cover up for Melissa DeRosa and what she said. He tried to pressure me to issue a statement, and it was a very traumatizing experience, Kim said. He also proceeded, I guess Cuomo proceeded to tell the Assemblyman, we're in this business together, and we don't cross certain lines. And he said I hadn't seen his raft and that he can destroy me. Man, do we need those kind of politics? Do we need those kind of politicians in our world today? I know politics is a dirty game, but why can't we clean it up? You know, this guy was thinking about running for president. You want to talk about tyrants, people who don't care. I'm telling y'all, y'all gotta have more discernment. You gotta be able to figure out who is in your corner, who's not. And you know, I think a lot of times for the last 4 years, people have kind of been duped to think otherwise. And some of these guys are looking like superheroes when they're really villains. They really are villains, you guys. And here at Emos Winners, we're gonna expose each and every one of them. Let's keep it pushing. I have a lot of time. The next villain, Governor Whitmer declares state of mercy in Michigan. This is the Democratic governor. Now, this isn't really too much to be critical about, but this is just kind of like a concern of mismanagement. I mean, she's pretty much putting more restrictions, calling a state of emergency over energy issues. She wants to ensure adequate propane distribution in the coming days. She doesn't want to go through what Texas went through. Why would Michigan go through what Texas went through? Michigan is a cold state. They should be hardened, ready for the winter, ready for energy levels, to have energy supplies and reserves on standby. As a governor, that's your responsibility. And I lived in Michigan for 4 years. I lived in Detroit, West Side. Shout out to Mack Avenue, Audubon, baby. East. I said, well, East Michigan, East Detroit, shit. Grosse Point. But yeah, why didn't why this I would hate to wake up in the morning and read some shit like that. You know, I gotta regulate my energy, the heat in my house, or where I can go. Michigan has experienced an abnormally high demand for propane, causing longer lines at distribution centers. In efforts to reduce the strain, the executive order temporarily suspends restrictions on commercial driving hours to allow fast delivery of energy to homes and businesses. All right, well, go in the winter, we'll keep an eye on that, and hopefully the state of Michigan won't. We know we're almost hitting the spring, so hopefully we'll get out this woods. Like I said, man, we'll have a couple of years, huh? 2020 and 2021. I'm telling you, man, 2021, we'll just keep it pushing. So yeah, Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, what's she been up to? She spent $281.5 million on federal COVID-19 relief money on police payroll. See, and this is what I was trying to tell you guys. What's underneath, you know? What was that last COVID bill? That last economic bill? That was what that fight was all about. Liberals wanted more money, more state and local funding due to their mismanagement, due to those riots. Just actually due to their corruption, just taking money. And Chicago's the prime example. Chicago politics is war. Come on now. Taking money right and left, underhanded. Okay? So they've been trying to get money all this time, not to really help with relief for COVID, not to fund schools and things like that, but to correct their wrongs, to cover up their dirty deeds. You got to need $281.5 million on police payroll. Okay, doesn't sound like it's COVID related, but yeah. Let's read a little bit of this. Alderman Daniel LaSpata, I think he's been getting into it with Lori a lot. I think they actually have some news, some damn near some verbal assaults on the local news in Chicago. Damn near some shit on the same level as Jerry Springer. Okay, between these two. But last summer called on the mayor to put federal money towards housing relief and other programs to help struggling residents. He said He said he and other aldermen heard from residents that they didn't want federal money targeted towards police payroll. We asked for assurances they wouldn't spend it all on police. The last thing people wanted to infuse hundreds of millions more dollars into the police department right now was the last thing people wanted to happen. You know? So what do you do when a politician doesn't, or a leader or a mayor does not adhere to the will of the people? You gotta vote them out. You know? And like I said, that's why our vote is so important. That's why following these issues are so important. That's why checking on voter integrity and those dominion systems and those sworn affidavits and those claims of voter fraud have to be addressed and that has to be a thorough review. Remember, 74+ million people or more don't think the election was legitimate. A lot of people are hoping for stagnation and gridlock in politics for the next 4 years. We don't want to see any major changes because we did not duly elect this president. You know, I mean, no matter how dismissive other people may feel about that, but they may be right. But at the same time, you have to address it because our Constitution, our values matter. Our future is at stake. We need to know that our vote matters and it counts. Take a look at it all, objectively and fairly. And hey, we'll go from there. That's all that people's asking. We're asking for these leaders to step up and become better. And right now, I'm just giving you examples of local leaders who are mismanaging funds, who are ignoring the will of the people, and who are being censored. Like my man Adam Kinzinger. Let's check this guy out. But he clapped back, though, at the Illinois County GOP vote to censure him. Thanks for playing. Isn't that crazy? Not only do politicians have this, you know, they do what they want to do, they're arrogant. Right? They get censored by their own people and they're arrogant about it. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy? So, you know, this thing about Adam Kinzinger, and I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, his last name correctly, but this is an example that I'm trying to tell you of wolves in sheep clothing, right? When I tell you the 7 Republicans that voted to impeach President Trump, turncoats in my eyes, the Mitt Romney, the Susan Collins, the Lisa Murkowski's, the Ben Sasses, the Liz Cheneys. Like I said, Liz Cheney was censored, as you guys know, not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, from Wyoming GOP in trying to impeach the president, going against the will of the local people, of her constituents. You know, Adam is doing the same thing. I mean, this guy voted 90% of the time on President Trump's policies. And then when all of a sudden out the blue, he turns around and says, President should be impeached. He's the one he's responsible for the riots. Like this trick bag, you know what I'm saying? Like if he was in the street like this motherfucking snitch, you believe I thought this dude was my, like this, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know, that's like G Money wearing a wire. You see what I'm saying? Out the blue, you just switched up. You was pro-Trump, but all of a sudden, what happened? As we read, we get into the details. You want awarded Secretary of the Air Force. So what you do, you join Republicans and try to impeach the president, try to assume your power, try to say you're the only Republican that stood up to President Trump in Illinois. People see past that, man. People see that. People see politics and fakeness and phonyism, you know, when they, you know, and this is an example of a Republican turncoat. You know, and you know, like I said, midterm elections in 2022, you're gonna see a lot of change. I predict you're gonna see a lot of these establishment Republicans out of office, and you're gonna see an impeachment of Joe Biden for his corruption once Republicans take over the House again. Right now, though, you have gridlock, and you have a Democrat that could actually control all 3 branches of government. You know, some feel illegitimately, and you know he's just getting started. So let's keep staying vigilant like we are here at the Emos to Witness show, the F.I.L.L show, the fuck I look like. Episode 27. Hit that like, subscribe button on YouTube. You can catch me on Facebook and Twitter. I know I say it all the time, but website's coming soon. emostowitness.com. You can catch these shows live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, downtown at 120 East Market Street at Wave 1 Media. And also you can catch me on Spotify and Apple pre-recorded shows. But yeah, like I said, we'll wrap it up here pretty soon. I just want to kind of touch on a few more things. Like I said, this is a Adam Kinsler. He's someone to keep watch of, and we'll see if he's back in 2022. But obviously, he doesn't care if he's censored. But the reason why he was censored by his people because he tried to impeach the president, and that's not what the people wanted in Will County, Illinois. So just a little small code. I want to jump into COVID real quick. Like I said, my theory, my opinion is that we need to open up. We need to be vigilant. The numbers have now hit 500,000 deaths in the United States. That's a big number. That's a nice marker. And like I said, the numbers keep going up. But yeah, we have seen some decreases in some states and some areas. And I wanted to show you the dynamic and the politics. And I want to show you the two different sides of it. Like we have, for example, in LA, we just have an issue with schools reopening. For LA Times, no quick path to reopening LA Unified Schools as the school year slips away. What's crazy is that, our kids are suffering every day, every week, every month, and a whole year now. If we don't get our kids back at school, it does damage. It does damage to their growth overall. So I hope, and I pray that parents and teachers are going through a lot in certain states or in all states, but I hope that you are able to find moments in time to keep your kids up to a level of education that they need, a quality level that at least basically, because we don't know the impact of online or at home learning is going to give them, what kind of value is going to provide. But yeah, right now though, in LA though, in California though, it's really more of an issue of the teachers union. It's also an issue of keeping teachers and staff safe and keeping students and parents safe is what their quote is saying. That's a strong defense. It's hard to push past that, for a solution when you keep putting that in people's perspective. But you keep showing people the data in other states and how it's a low risk for children, low risk in the school, all the PPE and all things we've been doing to keep these schools safe. You see that a lot of schools are open. Like my daughter's private school's been open. My daughter has not missed a day. We half-ass slapped that mask on in the morning and she's in class. And, knock on wood and pray to the heavens, nothing happens and nothing has happened. There's no mandatory vaccine operation going on with the teachers, like they're demanding in California. And a lot of people don't want to take it. You got frontline workers don't want to take the vaccine yet, and that's their opinion. That's their, But we have to open up, and I just think that teachers unions all too often, and the Democrats, they play sides. They play politics first for power. And teachers unions have a huge base and a huge power, and it's how I feel about unions, working alongside unions on the ports. Back in a past career, I've seen their games, and I've seen their politics and how they operate. And there's much to be desired. I know there's some value with collective bargaining, but at the same time, there's some corruption in that. And here at the Emos Witness Show, we're gonna expose all angles. No one is. What's the word? No one is refrain. No one no one can get away. No one can escape shit. No one can escape what they do, what they say, how they act. If I catch it, I'm going to expose it. And teacher unions are just as much responsible for this delay in opening schools in California as anybody in any other state group, any other state. And hey, so you look at like Israel, for example. Israel rolls back COVID restrictions on gyms, hotels, schools, and viruses as cases decline. And see, I find this to be a state, an operation that's being responsible with how they handle this pandemic. They're using their data correctly to make the right decisions. I can't say this. Now, I can't say the same thing for the NCAA. I can jump around. I might be able to say the same thing for the NBA though. NCAA, we've had a lot of schools, a lot of athletes A lot of games canceled because of COVID. Has done a great job, I believe. So it's all about who's managing these things correctly. This is like a show about management, right? So let's look at the next article. Auburn University fully returning to on-campus operations. They're like, hey, we're ready to go. We're ready to rock. Auburn University fully resuming on-campus operations that were disrupted by the coronavirus last year. All optional remote instruction will end on Sunday, and most employees who have been working on a virtual basis will return to campus on Monday. That's per the Auburn News. Opelika News. The decision to reopen was based on multiple factors. Okay, this is per Dr. Fred Cam of the University Medical Clinic. You're looking at all the data, all the information, and you're forecasting on where you think things will be. Okay, so they've seen a downward trend since 113 cases were reported during the week of January 17th. It says 75 new virus cases were self-reported during the week of January 31st, fewer cases than the previous week. The school also reported a 0.9% positivity rate among those tested, and it was voluntarily tested. So they also have multiple safeguards in place, which is also including a universal mask policy. So you can do things to stay vigilant, keep this world open, keep this society operating. But you got some states playing politics, you got some states playing with using the data and making sound responsible decisions. And that's what we need here, you guys. Like, we need a president who's gonna be straight up with us, like this next article, right? This next article, President Biden. What's going on, my man? Biden's coronavirus relief package has almost nothing to do with the coronavirus. Now, over and over again, President Joe Biden has pitched his $1.9 trillion stimulus plan as virtually restoring a struggling American economy and recovering from the pandemic. Okay? Now, many households are struggling. Very true. But as the article goes on to say that, this is a big plan, but it has nothing to do with the virus. For example, take schooling, for example. The mass closure of schools has caused immeasurable chaos and frustration for families across the country, especially those working with parents, and it has set back educational advancement of children, especially lower-income families with fewer resources and alternatives. Beyond the distributions to family closures, in combination with other forms of isolation stemming from the pandemic, have taken a dark toll on mental health. In the Las Vegas area, schools finally reopened, following a rash of suicides in which 18 students took their own lives. It's not a game. These are things you don't hear about. When was the last time you heard about the suicide rates as compared to the death rate? The cure can't be worse than the pandemic itself, right? So we got to find balance, man. We got to protect those who are more susceptible to getting sick. We also got to let our kids and let our families and let the youth and let the people who are less at risk live their lives. Because we don't want shit like this to happen like in Vegas. Now, so yeah, like I said, this article goes on to speak about how Biden is actually, there's just so much stuff in this bill that has nothing to do with the virus. So, for example, Biden calls for $350 billion in backstop state budgets, which were projected to be down as much as 8% over this year. This is what I was talking about with Lori Lightfoot, using that money to fund the police, mismanaging things, have nothing, California, which is set for a $15 billion surplus, is getting money. Let's see here. There's more throughout Biden's pandemic relief plan. Biden's mitigation team raised the issue of food insecurity. So yeah, there's a lot of stalling, a lot of things being pushed into this bill that has nothing to do with the pandemic, and again, this is more politics at play. Here we are late February, and people are still waiting on some kind of infusion. So let's just keep it pushing, America. We'll keep following Biden's stimulus plan and what he has planned for the economy. We'll see. But again, as I'm about to wrap this up now, but as we kind of watch what the current administration is doing, we also got to keep track of what my man Trump is doing And my man is not giving up. He is fighting. He's still a fighter. He is back. Like I told you guys at the beginning of the show, that he is planning on doing his first major speech. I'm actually going to skip the Democrats beat Trump in 2020 article and jump right into the last one. There we go. Trump. After a month of laying low at Mar-a-Lago, Trump will make his first speech since he left the White House next week at a conference of top conservatives, CPAC pretty much. He is planning to talk about the future of the Republican Party and criticize Joe Biden's policies. Man, it's amazing. Like I said, I'm gonna wrap this up and I'm gonna segue this into our next show on Wednesday. But like I said, President Donald Trump. I'm gonna say a few things. This guy doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He doesn't. He is religious. He is spiritual. The most vetted president ever. 4 years of investigations. You found nothing. On top of that, the man's been in the social spotlight since the 80s. Okay, the man was on Showtime Boxing with Don King, Mike Tyson, and all them. Every rapper recited his name in rap videos. I've seen black scene would date beautiful women, black women on his arm. Married a model, very successful. Strong values, America First values. 4 years, he accomplished a lot. Even through investigations, he won his first election in a landslide, which I predicted in 2016. I have evidence to prove it. I have text messages to prove it. In 2020, in my opinion, he won in a landslide. Data proved it. Data showed it. Some shit happened on midnight on the 4th that was kind of questionable. That's just my opinion. And 74 million Americans, and probably more than that, and probably growing each and every day, are still supporting him and his policies in particular. Like I said, I am not a Republican. I'm not even an independent, man. I'm just an objective person who was in politics, who studied politics and voted in every election and made a change in 2012. Made a decision to go the other way, just abstain and find another leader, who reflected my values and my views. And that's where I'm at. I support the views. I support end to endless wars, a strong economy, America First, drain the swamp, ending corruption, ending child pedophilia. Ending wars and peace and infrastructure, and just kind of spurring competition on an economic capital level. Just the trade deals renegotiation, the USMCA. Just like I said, the healthcare, the price competition that was coming on, the infrastructure plan that was coming on, the protection of the walls in the country. Those things matter to me, and so we were headed that direction, and a lot was still accomplished in those 4 years, and I want to see that continue, whether it be from him or from some other leader on either side. If I hear these policies again, I'm gonna perk up and try to hear that leader, no matter what side of the aisle that it's on. And it's good to see that we can see that this man is still fighting for America and fighting for you. And he'll have a speech coming up pretty soon. And so I look forward to hearing that. We know that he hasn't given up. And we know that he has surely taken over the GOP. Those establishment Republicans that you hear about, those 7, and all those wolves in sheep clothing, and those hiding in the woods, they will be exposed in 2022. And we will see a change in a lot of Republican leadership. And I predict you're gonna see the power of Trump and his control over that party. He continues to fundraise, and he continues to support upcoming young leaders that support his America First plan. And we're gonna see a change in 2022, which is gonna result in the Republicans taking over the House, which will cause an impeachment trial for Biden. And it's hopefully expose more of these investigations and more corruption, and continue the investigation that we do have on the table with Durham and the Russian hoax, what happened with Comey, Peter Strzok, and Lisa Page, and all that. And we're gonna get into all that at Emos to Win this show. F.I.L.L Show episode 27. We're gonna dig into all that. We're gonna like I said, we're gonna get into nitty gritty. We're a young show growing. Hit that subscribe button. Like me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We'll have live chats coming soon. Hit me up on my Gmail, emostowitness@gmail.com, and the website's coming soon as well, emostowitness.com. And I'm your host, Emos, and we are going to continue to push back against tyranny, two-tier justice system, double talk, ill politicians, phony, fake politicians, and really kind of go behind it and dig into the background of what's really going on, and continue to hold truth to power. Okay? So I want you guys to have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, 10 to 11 a.m. live. Emos Witness, baby. And I'm out.